sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.
Welcome, everybody. Got it. All right. So some of you guys know, some of you guys were here on Tuesday. Others may not have been. So welcome aboard. My name's Andrew David. This is Blake Newbar's partner program, the High Performance Call. It is a nice backyard, David. Absolutely. I'm in San Juan. I'm at the Condado Vanderbilt. I'll give you a quick. So there's the resort up here behind me. And here, I don't know if you can see her right over there. That's my fiance's kicking back. While I'm down here, this is me slaving away working with you guys today. So on Tuesday, I shared with you, the Condado here. This was one of my first vacations that I took once my business online was kind of going and I was starting to make some money and things were going well. And let's see, Krista, can you mute everybody for me? We got some kind of feedback from some people there. So anyway, I was sharing on Tuesday. This was one of the first times that I got out and it was kind of, everything became real. And the biggest reason for that is because I refused to listen to myself. What I mean is for years in my life, in my voice, my head, it was always here's how you should travel and here's where you save money and don't spend it on yourself and be careful about this. And just this sense of caution because good Lord, the sky is falling and what happens if things go wrong? And every time I looked around, that was the thought. And a lot of you guys have dealt with things going wrong. And you've dealt with no's and you've dealt with people telling you no and dealt with people telling you this isn't going to work and that's not going to work and all of these other problems. The purpose of these calls, the reason that I do these is to give you some perspective. And sometimes we get into the marketing and sometimes we talk about headlines and we talk about Facebook and everything else. And sometimes what I want to do is give you a way of looking at yourself and your business and how to change things. And I realize not every single word is going to resonate with everybody. And that's fine. And I've grown to become okay with that. And you guys need to as well. But hopefully what you do is on this call, on another call, hopefully there's a word, there's a phrase, there's a story, there's something that kind of connects. There's something that begins to kind of, something is planted in your heart and your brain as you start looking at where you are and what's going on and the principles that are here that'll guide you towards however you want to define your own level of success. I want to talk to you today about the power of routine and the power of flexibility and the ability to adapt. If you haven't yet, go back and watch the call that I did with Blake recently within the last few weeks. And one of the things that he said when I was asking him what he thought was important was the ability to adapt and the ability to change. And then at the same time, one of the 5 books that I recommend to you guys is Miracle Morning for Entrepreneurs by Hal Elrod. And on that book, Hal talks about SAVERS is the acronym that he uses. So SAVER stands for silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scripting. Scripting, what he means there is just writing, so you're doing your journal. And he talks about 7 minutes or an hour or whatever, but a little bit of time with each of those every single morning in order to keep yourself organized, to create a routine, to do something to bring consistency to your life. And I'm connecting that today with adapting and changing and being flexible. So here's why those two things go hand in hand when you're talking about success and why you need to experience both. The first thing that you need to do, I'd almost say it goes adapt, routine, adapt. Now what I mean is this, is most of you have been living your lives a certain way and you're doing things, and maybe this is the first time you're doing something online, maybe it's the second and the third or fourth or the 12th. And what you need to do right now is you need to change. You need to adapt, you need to get flexible, you need to do something different. You can't do the same thing that you've always done and expect different results. That's the definition of insanity, right? You've got to make things different. And so if what you've always, and whatever different looks like for you, obviously for me, I was at a point where because of everything that happened in May where things didn't go right, I've learned that for me, every once in a while, what I need to do is I need a change of location, even if it's for a couple of days. I could feel after our call that we had the other day on Tuesday, and I'm sitting by the pool later that afternoon, I could just feel stress just kind of melting away for me. And then I've got, next week, we've got something else somewhere else coming up. Guys, I'm not saying you have to take off to San Juan. Though if you do, let me know and I'll book and I'll come down and stay with you. You don't have to go to the beach. You don't have to get away to the mountains. Though if you can, great, go do it. Do it for a day, do it for an afternoon. Maybe it's, we had a couple people talking about horticulture and, florists and other. Maybe what you need to do is get up and go to your local Lowe's or Home Depot or some shop with flowers and just take a walk through nature. Or you need to go to your local park and you need to do that. You need to get outside, right? Maybe you need a different office for a day. Maybe you need to go to a different gym than the one you've always been going to, just to change things up a little bit. And maybe it's that moment that's going to spark some little bit of inspiration. Maybe it's that change that'll start you thinking a little bit differently. Because all you've been doing the entire time is thinking the exact same things that you have, and you're looking for something different. And you keep going back and you go, well, this is brand new and I haven't done it. And I want something different, but then you're studying in the exact same spot that you've done these other 4 businesses at. You're in the exact same chair. You've got the same lighting. You haven't even moved to look out a window, for crying out loud. And you're wondering why every single one ends up doing the exact same thing. So one thing I would recommend at the very beginning is find a couple of things to just change it up a little bit. Okay. Shake things up. If you want to create wealth in your life, then you need health. So yes, get up in the morning and exercise and do yoga and go for a run or get outside, eat better foods, drink more water, do all of those things. Your body needs to be healthy. You need to tell yourself that you're willing to invest in your own health if you want to create wealth as well. So that's one of the things. And then once I've got some change and I'm doing things differently than I have been, now I start to create the routine. And the routine that I'm going to create is that of people that have been doing this for years and years and years, those that have attained a level of success that I want to emulate. And if they're going on a vacation, or if they're, every single morning they're getting up and they're doing their yoga and they're reading and they're writing and their affirmations, then that's what I'm going to do. And then as I do that and I get on this pathway, I realize that the path may change once in a while. When I started online marketing years ago, I started trying to sell Disney stuff and that didn't work. And so I started doing affiliate marketing, and the program that I was with worked for a little bit and then it blew up. And I know for a fact, some of you guys have been in some of the same programs. I know some of you guys have dealt with the same BS. I know some of you guys have lost money like I have, but I didn't give up and just go, oh, that didn't work. Oh, well, I guess I'll go back to cleaning and restoration. Guess I'm going to go back to a 9-to-5. Oh, somebody saw me doing this. I got an offer for this or that. And I mean, recently I got an offer for something that would have paid 5 times what I used to make when I started with my ex-father-in-law. I mean, someone offered me a decent salary to go do some work for him. They said, oh, I've seen you online. I want you to do this for me. And I went, that's great. No, that's not what I'm trying to do. Because I'm creating for myself the pathway that I need. And it's not always going to be exactly the way that I imagine it, but I'm willing to adapt. So guys, whatever stage that you're in, if right now you're at the stage where you need a change of pace, a change of scenery, a change of location, whatever, make the change now. If you've started making some of those changes and you're going, okay, but I'm doing this and it's different, and I'm doing this and it's different, and my thinking really has begun to change, then implement the routines and the strategies that those that have come before you have implemented. You don't have to create everything from scratch. You're not reinventing the wheel. Start going there, and then recognize as you go forward on this pathway to where you're trying to get to, that sometimes you'll need to adapt, but you can keep pushing forward, right? Be flexible, get into a routine, be willing to adapt. But at its heart, always, 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 your mental health, spiritual health, emotional health, all of those things are so closely tied together. Pay attention to those as you guys are doing it. Now, it doesn't mean that you won't have strife or stress and you won't need to push through and be uncomfortable, right? Because you'll never be truly healthy if you never challenge yourself enough, right? But you're all capable of some pretty amazing things. And some people have told you you're not. And looking at some of you and having some of the conversations that we've had, I know some of you have told yourself that you're not capable of. And This is the moment where I tell you that those people and that inner voice, they're liars. And they don't have power over your future unless you want to give it to them. So flip that, recognize that some of us believe in you and you should believe in you. And let's plan on, whether it's on a beach or in the mountains or something somewhere, get yourself to the point that, if you need to take off for a weekend of, kind of mental health stress release that you can. Your business is still running, things are still happening. It's pretty great to wake up while you're at a resort and get, notifications that sales are going on. Each one of you can get there. Now, here's the reality. And a lot of you guys are here and you're working and you're continuing at it. Be patient until you get the results. Be patient after you get results and keep working. Some of you guys won't be around in 3 months or 6 months. Some of you guys are going to quit. And that's just the law of averages, right? Some of you guys won't see it through. Some of you guys are here and you're in and you're going, damn it, why hasn't it gotten to this level or that level? And if you just keep at it, that door is going to open up. And if it's, taking this business with the partner program to a level of income that you never expected, or if it opens up into something slightly different that allows you to continue to grow, ultimately, that's my desire. I want you guys to be able to accomplish amazing things. And wherever that leads, you're capable of it. So on that note, I'm going to be sitting in my office tomorrow. We're going to continue the message. We're going to keep training. Come Monday, we're going to have different bluer waters to talk from. And we're going to keep the training going. So on that note, I appreciate you guys. I love you. Go have an amazing day. I will see all you guys tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.